Hey Tubes, this Blazer Project. Well, back outside today. It is a gorgeous day. And now we're back on Toolbox. And we're going to take care of the rear diff oil as far as what I do. And then we got oil pressure sensor that is wanting to read faulty as far as like the actual pressure of the oil and so forth. So, here's what we got today. Now, if you're doing the rear diff oil or gear oil on your vehicle, you want to make sure it's the correct weight and how much it actually takes. For Tool, it's 75-140. I went full synthetic. It has a limited slip additive in it. And, depending on where you live, Valvoline was the only one I could find. I'm normally like Castrol, but Valvoline's good. This right here is the oil pressure sender. It's a 27 mil socket on it, and we'll get to that in a moment, but we're going to take care of the rear diff first. Put my phone in here. So, there's the GoPro. I'm going to start using those as far as like being underneath the vehicle or when I'm doing work, because I can naturally speed it up. So, let me get the GoPro set up and crawl underneath. Found the socket. Give me a moment. Scratch it. Alright. Drain pan. And what you want to do is loosen all of them first. Then we'll pull the cover off. Amount of metal on it, typical. Alright, let's get that cover off. Because it's going to be a lot easier. And be aware of brake lines or anything else that is around. Or any tags that are being held on. Like right here. And of course I got still black as than shit. Okay. Have ourselves an LSD. Sure enough, 48.8. Hopefully I'm getting you in there. Got the spring, clutches, harmonic wheel. Other than that, I mean, it is nice inside. Good wear. She's good in there. So let's let that drip. But let's take the pan inside and get her set up. So I'm gonna shut the GoPro off and then we'll be in the garage. Alright, we're in the garage. Hang on a moment. Now with the cover off, the biggest thing is clean this whole thing. And I mean, clean it. Start with getting the residue gear lube out. Plus also gives you a chance to see if there's any metal in it, and there's not, which is awesome. Let's clean all this out. Now if you see any discoloration, that's normal, but if it's a real black, blue, like it's been heat soaked, that is something you want to look at. But I'm seeing all the normal spots right here, here, and here. That's all pretty good, so I'm not going to complain. I'm not seeing any metal, so that's another good sign. Nor fabric material, which is awesome. Now we just got to get our TV off, and this is one thing I'm a real proponent for and advocate for is RTV, as far as like certain gear lube and everything and certain oil pans. I'm all for it. I mean, this gets into all the small cracks, crevices, and the works. And true, it can be a bit of a pain to put on, but I mean, you just saw right there, came off in one piece and so forth. So I'm going to grab a wire wheel and start cleaning this whole thing up, getting this all off and so forth, and not use too much pressure, but enough just to peel it all off. But first, just get the big pieces off, but the rest of it on the mating surfaces, that's where you want to get. Plus also there's some rust here, get all that cleaned up and so forth. I'm going to do that off camera, so I'm going to shut you guys off and get to work. Alright, off camera, run around this, got the old RTV off, went on ahead, every single bolt I cleaned off, got them clean. But also I wanted to show you this. This is a tag off of my Diff that was covered. You guys can see it says 75W 140 synthetic oil only. These tags are important because they can tell you what oil goes into the Diff and so forth. Don't think it's like, oh, it's like 80, 90 and so forth. You use the wrong oil, you can tear things up. And like mine having a limited slip, you put the wrong oil in, there go the clutches and everything, and you're in for some trouble. Now, even though I cleaned all this up, this is where the black RTV comes in. They do make gaskets for these, of all things. Not bad, but for me, I bank my money on the RTV. Now, I cleaned it up, and my hands are somewhat dirty, but we'll be fine. Now, the biggest thing is to start getting the bead going around. me, I try and stay on the inside. And of course this thing's not going to work. This, thermostat, oil pan, fine. For something like this, especially with what it's holding back, sometimes a good amount goes a long way. Now I stopped short right here, because then you're going to take a finger and just spread it out to an even layer. I mean, this is even as you can get. This is the way I've done it on other vehicles, and I've had no problems with it at all. Go around the whole thing. It doesn't matter if you cover up some of the holes. Just a little added layer of protection. I've done it like this for so long on others as well, and they have yet to leak. And you can see I'm a little thin right here, so get a little on your finger. So, and cover all the bare metal. You don't want to go too thick, but you want it thick enough, and when you put it on, it creates one heck of a seal. Get a little on the inside. A little more right here. See, it's not an exact science. And there we go. Now we gotta let that tack up for a good half hour, hour. And in that time, we're going to switch back to the GoPro underneath Toolbox, and we're going to do one very, very important step under there. And that is clean the mating surface as well, but we can't get any on the clutches. So let's go back to the GoPro, and I'll do some more explaining underneath. Alright. Back under Toolbox. Now, the kicker is here. We gotta get these mating surfaces clean, but we cannot touch the discs on the limited slip. So, we gotta clean all this, all the grease and everything. So, and of course I leave the brake clean in the front, the passenger seat. So I'm gonna go grab that real quick. Be right back. Got the brake cleaner. And phew, does that shit stink. But even before we start brake cleaning away, take some paper towel, some blue towels. I would suggest getting blue towels, shop towels, and so forth. No rags for this. A little reservoir right here. You need to get as far as things go. My neighbor's going fishing. of that off as possible. Do some more cleaning right around. Pull off our TV along the way. See, that's jutting out. We're getting there. Now for the fun part. We gotta clean all the way around with brake cleaner first, then stick the cover back on. So, what I do is put some on a cloth, let's go around it. Gets most of it off, but you want to at least try and get these mating surfaces as clean as possible. Because this is where you can really screw up, and I have, and trust me, I do not want to pull this damn thing back off. Alright, we're looking good, but if this was an open diff, I'd be spraying the piss out of it in there and doing it that way. But because this is a limited slip with the clutches, the spring and everything, it's just easier to take the safe route and do it this way. I'm going to go over it one more time just to make darn sure. A step you can screw up on. Do you do? It ain't easy to get back under here sometimes, and it's annoying as you would not believe. So, there we go. It's pretty well all ready for cover now. Alright. The thing I did off camera was I Loctited all the bolts. I Loctited the daylights out of them because this is one area you do not want to have come off on it. And nice try. Sorry, there's a little dribble trying to wreck my day. Fix that real quick. I got 355 gears on this thing. So, yeah, an highway gear for this monster. But as far as towing goes, not too bad. Point. That over there. Bumper. Alright. Now, let's get this back on. Try not to touch anything. TV's on. Now, it doesn't matter. Down. See, crisscross these suckers. Snug them down first. Just gonna go back around. Check all these. Aha, missed one. Let that tack up. I'm gonna go clean up a little bit. And we gotta go to the front and deal with a freaking oil pressure sensor. That's gonna be easy compared to what this is. Alright. According to Ford, it says 2.75 quarts. So, for me, I'm gonna put 3 in. So, I mean, one little extra ain't gonna hurt. Fill holes right there, just grab. Shoot her in. Here's number 3. You'd be surprised how fast these things can fill up if you're not careful. Just like so. And now we are completely full. So, it's up to the bottom of the fill hole. Grab the plug. Put that in. And you don't forget the ratchet. Ow. Just helps if I go the right way. Tighten her down until you don't want to completely bottom it out. And it's now snug. So there you go. I mean, it's pretty simple and easy. If you take your time, keep things clean, organized, and so forth, there's no trouble. And you let the RTV cure. That's the big thing. I mean, cure as in just let it sit there for about an hour or so and just let it tack up, cure, and then you can throw stuff in it later on. It says 24 hours before you throw anything in it, but me, I've done 2, 3, 4 hours, let it cure that long, and I've had luck with it ever since. What you do is what you do, so it's all up to you. But that oil sensor is going to have to wait for another day, at least until I change the oil again and make darn sure I connected it all the way. Let's start the monster up. Alright. At least make sure she has that gauge is working, because I plugged it all the way back in. Yeah, it's working. Plus also, I love the sound of that Flowmaster. I mean, it's just perfect. Good Lord, freaking wind. So I've got another mess to clean up, but calling for rain tonight. If the weather holds off and it doesn't rain, I'll be back on the Blazer. We're going to rip out the rear axle and get that done. That way all I got left is to drop the tranny and transfer case, get those out, and then it's all metal body work. And I mean, that's all that's going to be left on this thing. Get all the body work done, then pull the body off the frame, yank the frame out, clean it, all of it. So it's going to be a long summer, fall, and winter. But if it's still raining and it's not even worth coming out and get the tranny transfer case, we're going to tear into this, figure what went wrong, chop the top off, and this is going to become a parts washer. Clean the inside, paint it, and make it ready to accept everything else. So we'll see what happens. But anyhow, that's the video today. Got the GoPros out. I'm going to start using them so you guys can see more of what's going on and just start mixing it up. I mean, there's only so much you can do on camera. The GoPros, forgot I had them, dug them out, charged them, and there you go. So I've got a mess to clean up and things to do. So I'll talk to you guys all later. I'll catch you guys in the next one. So like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram at BlazerProject72, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.